on Stand Up for the Week, Jack Whitehall, John Richardson, Andi Osho, Rich Hall, and tonight's special guest, Mike Wilmot. But now, please welcome your host, Kevin Bridges.
Thanks very much for that. Hello and welcome to another episode of Stand Up for the Week, the show featuring the country's top comics giving their unique views on the week's news. Pretty catchy. So it's been a big week. It's always a big week, but it's been a bigger week. We're at war. We're at war. You know, we're bombing the whole country because of a guy, Colonel Gaddafi, who lives in a tent. Right, we don't need fighter jets and Tomahawk missiles to get the guy out of a tent. All you need is a disposable lighter and a can of Lynx. A disgusting fart is enough for me to leave a tent. The petrol prices are set to rise. That's when we'll start giving a fuck. Petrol prices are set, they're the highest, petrol prices are the highest all time. It could soon cost up to £200 to fill a tank of petrol, a lot of money, but think of the nectar points. It gives you an excuse at this time of austerity to purchase luxury goods. No, but people thinking, well, Colonel Gaddafi's got his critics, but I've got 75,000 points on my card. Let's go to home base and buy a fucking gazebo. It's always about the money. Japan this week, $215 billion. That's going to cost to repair Japan. That's a bit insensitive giving them a quote this early, isn't it? How did they get that figure? Is there some guy in Japan with a bookie's pen behind his ear, with a clipboard just walking around just going... just kind of kicking stuff, just going, have you still got the receipt for that? You might need to leave it with us, mate. It's going to cost you. Anyway, with the budget this week. It's the only time of year, the budget, when you actually care about pennies. You pretend to care. You know when people are saying 2p's going up on booze and you go, oh, that's a lot, but you don't really care. Have you ever bought something in a shop for like 98 pence and you've paid with a £1 coin, and then there's that kind of situation that needs to happen fast? You need to get your change straight away, otherwise you need to stand there and you don't want to walk away and look at the big shot, just walking away. Or do you stand and then she forgets, oh sorry, you actually want your change, and then you look like a tight bastard, and you need a charity tin right there to sort this problem. You don't even know what charity you're giving it to. To give it anything, you're just putting 2p in guide dogs. Anyway, anybody got a guide dog? Anybody got a Labrador? No. What about you, big guy? What have you got? A Staffordshire Bull Terrier? That's a real man right there. You have got a staff?
Yeah, I've got a staff,
Yeah, of course you've got a staff. That was by no means a stereotype joke. That was bang on accurate. This man owns a staff. This guy breeds staff. What's your name, big guy?
John.
John, of course it's fucking John. No nonsense. What do you do for a living, John?
My house husband.
You're a house husband?
Yeah.
Just sits at home fucking punching the wall. Is your wife at this table?
So there, she does a good impression of a sheep.
She does a good impression of the sheep?
Yeah.
Alright, so when did you discover that? It sounds like a great house you've got there. You just stay at home and make your wife act like a farmyard animal. The kind of family-friendly Joseph Fritzl sat here. So, ladies and gentlemen, are we up for some celebrity news? I'm going to welcome the show's very own gossip-reading, red carpet-munching comedy superstar. Give it up for Jack Whitehall.
I'm Jack Whitehall. I'm here to talk about the week's entertainment news. ITV2's The Only Way is Essex started this week. We've got some fans of the show in. Some people love The Only Way is Essex, some people hate it, some people get really annoyed by it. And they always get annoyed for the same reason. They're like, it's fake, it's all fake, it's all scripted, it's all storylines and scripts. Like, scripts? Have you seen the cast? Half of them look like they can't fucking read. And storylines? That show makes Hollyoaks look like fucking Downton Abbey. Storyline. The only storyline is, right, there's this main guy, Mark Wright, and then there's 7 girls, and Mark Wright fucks all of them. And people are like, no, you see, it's the UK's answer to that American show, The Hills. Yeah, if the question The Hills was asking was, I wonder what our show would be like if Mark Wright fucked all of us. The one thing it has, though, the only way is Essex, though, it's done, is it has brought vajazzling to the mainstream. Have we got any girls in tonight rocking the vajazzle? That was a guy at the back. That's not a vajazzle, that's a punazzle, sir. But I appreciate your style. Packing a little bit of glitter on the twins, I like that shit. Not that it works. A man with a vajazzle is a weird... Putting, like, little bits of jewellery on your scrotum does not work. Just turn it upside down, it looks like Gordon Ramsay in a tiara. It's not good. It's taken off, though, this whole vajazzling thing of putting the jewellery there. It's really weird, I don't get it. This girl I was seeing the other day, she was like, do you want me to get one of them vajazzles, Jack? It'll be really sexy. I was like, it definitely won't. No guy has ever gone down there and thought, oh, this could do with redecorating. Maybe a Glade plug-in, but that's about it. The show I've been watching this week, and it's a show that I love. I don't know if we've got any fans in, right? Brian Cox, The Wonders of the Universe. Oh, I love that show, because I love that man. The most handsome man on television. Oh, he's amazing. And even on the show, right, he talks about some quite bleak shit. It's all quite apocalyptic, but you don't care because of his beautiful face and his dulcet northern tones. He lures you in. You're watching it, he's like, our planet is merely a blink within a massive universe. Our entire lives just a pointless ambling towards inevitable death within a solar system that will one day implode upon itself in a massive supernova, rendering the entirety of mankind completely and utterly futile. Oh, hasn't he got lovely eyes? His face is amazing, look at it. I don't know much about physics, but I did not know that a face could actually have a gravitational pull. So soft. It even smells nice, and that's a fucking photograph. It's a testament, right, to how handsome and lovely Brian Cox is, right? Yeah? That he's a professor of physics, he's a teacher at university, and his name is Cox, and he's still this popular. Any other teacher whose name was Cox, you know what children would like? He'd have the shit ripped out of him. But he's so handsome and charming and warm, he could get away with being called Professor Rusty Bellend and no one would care. He's great. He was in a band as well. He was in a band. That's people like that. Brian Cox was in D-Ream. Do you remember them? Sung Things Can Only Get Better. How cool is that? I'm a bit worried though, right? He was in this band D-Ream in the early 90s and he has completely reinvented physics on the BBC. I'm worried that that's now going to become a policy across the board. Every single part of their educational output, they're going to have to get someone to present it that was in a shit 90s band. Coming up next on BBC4, The Nazis, a warning from history, narrated by Jim, the brother out of the cause. Following this, Panorama has a special on hit-and-run incidents in the UK. Chumbawamba present I Get Knocked Down. One of the other big stories that's happened this week as well, Rebecca Black. Has anyone seen this? Rebecca Black, teenage girl, has released a pop song on the internet called Friday, which is going to become one of the most viewed videos ever on the internet. And people hate it. They hate it because they say, oh, it's really boring. It's just some 13-year-old girl banging on about Fridays. It's really, really boring. Well, I've got an idea. You want to spice that shit up? Let's introduce her to Craig David and re-record it, because we all know what he gets up to on a Friday. That'll make it more interesting as you see her harrowing face as she realises she's got 2 more days of that shit until chill time on a Sunday. She's one of those girls, though. She's one of those girls as well, I think, right, that falls into the same category as Miley Cyrus and that British tennis player Laura Robson. In that when I first saw her in the newspapers, I was like, whoa, God, she is 13! Bad thoughts. People criticise her, though. They're saying, oh, her song's really shit. Do you know what? I'm here to defend Rebecca Black. I don't think people fucking understand her, all right? They're saying, oh, yeah, her song's all shit. It's not. People do not get into the Rebecca Black way of thinking. She is a maverick, right? You can screw Wordsworth. You can screw T.S. Eliot, Dylan Thomas. They're out the window. Rebecca Black is a 21st century poet. Oh, yeah. I give to you verse 1, chapter 15. That's right. I'm going to quote her shit. She says, I got to go downstairs. Got to get my bowl. Got to have my cereal. That's not even fucking close to to rhyming. But does she care? Does she fuck? She is sticking 2 fingers up to the very constructs of poetry. Iambic pentameter, the laws of verse do not apply to Rebecca Black. She doesn't care. It's a Friday. She's just here to have fun. I wouldn't be surprised if that bowl of cereal was being eaten for lunch or dinner, because that's the way this maverick rolls. She treats poetry like she treats the school bus. She'll shit on the front seat. She'll kick on the back seat. She'll go wherever the hell she wants on that bus, because she's Rebecca Black and she doesn't play by the fucking rules. Guys, that has been my roundup of the week's entertainment. You've been a lovely audience. Have a fantastic night. Thanks so much.
Still to come, Rich Hall, Andi Osho, John Richardson, and tonight's special guest, Mike Wilmot.
Welcome back to Stand Up Week. Are we having a good time? So, how are you? Everybody in the front row? I may as well speak to this guy since you're looking at me terrified. What's your name, sir?
Mark. I'm from France, so if you've got anything on the French, go for it.
You're from France? Yeah. Are you French? You don't sound French.
I'm French.
You're French. I'm not going to ask you to show your passport. I just don't sound French. He's getting French. I'm French. He's getting proper French. There we go. Just go and get this guy a big crusty loaf and some onions on his neck. He's got a stripy jumper. All right, I can see it. I'll let you away with that. You're going to storm off on strike? I refuse to be part of this audience anymore. I like the French. They're good people.
We normally get on well against the English.
All right, that's what we'll do. We normally go on well against English. French guy and a Scottish guy. Me and you will piss off this entire room. John. Have you seen John? Normally, I'm up for it. We've picked the wrong location at the wrong time. That guy is England. Look at him. Time for some big issues, as seen through the bullshit detecting eyes of this show's wise man. Give it up for the sensational Rich Hall.
Obviously, this will be the week remembered as the week that we went to war. Yeah, war. I know what you're all thinking. War? What the fuck are you talking about? It's not a war. Neither Britain nor America has had an enemy in 50 years that even had a uniform. Libya, Kuwait, Iraq, Afghanistan. West Ham has a tougher schedule than that, for fuck's sake. We're the proper evil people. Gaddafi, like, look at that. Proving that even in a land where you have to wear robes, there's such a thing as novelty robes. Clearly a Christmas present given to him by a distant relative who didn't realize that Muslims don't actually celebrate Christmas. Hey, why don't you wear that robe from your cousin Clarence Gaddafi in Ohio? What the fuck was he thinking? And now he's using human shields. The last act of a desperate man, ladies and gentlemen. Trust me, when you're using human shields, and I wouldn't be surprised if next he shows up. Why would anyone pick on me? Look, I'm wearing a baby hat. And I don't mean a knit cap with a I mean an act. I have a baby on my head. Who would hurt a man with an axe? I love people. Look, I'm wearing a baby. Why would anyone hurt me with my baby hat? Don't kill me. So, to be honest, ladies and gentlemen, by this time next week, maybe the whole thing will have blown over. We can all go back to having a fucking week with no fucking news in it whatsoever. How glorious would that be? Wouldn't that be wonderful? Wouldn't it be great just to go to your job, my friend? Not have to worry about the world blowing up? You there, big fella? Yeah, wouldn't you? Yeah. What kind of work do you do?
I'm an ass husband.
An ass husband. Wow. Good work if you can find it. House husband. All right. So all day long at the house.
Yeah.
You ever thought about being a human shield? The whole human shield thing it's a fucking amazing idea. Why should it be reserved for dictators? You should be able to call up at work. Woody, come up here, John. I'm going to show you how this works. Get up here. Get up here. This is how it works, John. Stand in front of me, buddy. Holy fuck, you're a bit more than a human shield, my friend. This is how being a human shield works, John. Let's say you're here tonight, your wife is not here, you want to call her on the phone. She's not here, John. Your wife is not here, she's at home. Read.
Hi, honey. No, everything's fine. It's just that I'm going to be a little bit late home tonight. I've run into a little situation here. TV taping, Rich Hall. Yes, he is a very funny man. He's using me as a human shield. I know. He's very clever. It's... Oh, right, calm down. Did I mention the fantastic he is? Very giving performer. Who would ever thought that? Your name here? Oh, I've been here in the shield before, have I?
Great, John.
Yeah, right. Thank you. Let's wrap this up. We're a rousing musical number, folks. Who does love the late John Denver? Sing along with everyone. Country roads. Take me home, a place I belong. West Mountains of Virginia, mama.
Let's hear it for John, ladies and gentlemen. Good night.
Give up for Rich Hall. Give him a big joy. Now it's time to take a look at all things in the world of technology, digital, internet, electric, sandwich toasters, you name it. This woman's got it covered. Make some noise for the wonderful Andi Osho.
On the world of the web, Twitter is 5 this week. It's more of a whatever. Celebrities use it a lot to announce their news. For example, this week, Kelly Brook announced pregnancy on Twitter. This is what she said. All I was thinking was, I wonder how many people replied, is it mine? I did. People have described tweets on Twitter as a sort of poetry. And I think, kind of. In the same way that dog shit smeared on your gums is a sort of toothpaste. I don't understand why people are desperate to have so many followers. You know, Jesus started out with just the 12. He was happy. I like to imagine what Jesus would have been like had he been on Twitter all those years ago. First off, he would have blocked Judas, obviously. And what would his first tweet have been? You know, oh my God, 5,000 people coming over for dinner and I've only got a couple of loaves. Panic, OMD. Oh my dad, oh my dad, oh my dad. But what else has been happening in the world of the web? Well, it's all kicking off on Twitter this week. Blue having a go at Philip Schofield because he called their Eurovision song shocking. Yes. Oh, ooh. Twitter is like the lamest way to have an argument with someone. It's like offering someone out for a fight and then setting up your PlayStation 2. Do you know what I mean? I'm going to kick your ass once Tekken 3's loaded. It's ridiculous. And then Duncan James has hit back by calling Philip Schofield unpatriotic. He's not being unpatriotic. Unpatriotic is having a dump on the steps of the Victoria Memorial. Right? He's just telling the truth. The song is shocking. And the reason we don't do well in the Eurovision Song Contest is because we treat it like a joke. Do you know what I mean? It's like, we might as well enter the Sundance Film Festival with 2 girls and 1 cup. We don't take it seriously. See, nowadays, entering the Eurovision Song Contest, we put in acts that are past their best. They're the only ones that seem to be able to make the cut. It's almost like entering Eurovision has become a euphemism for putting them out of their misery. It is. It's like there'll be little girls all across the country going, Mummy, where are they taking Blue? They're going to go and live on a farm. There'll be fields and other boy bands. Will 911 be there? Yeah. And aha. And I used to like them as well. I always imagined the order I wouldn't have sex with them in. But the song's called I Can. I mean, I've heard it. It's no All Rise. I'm just going to say that. Now, the reason they wrote it for the World Cup, but they realised the World Cup isn't until 2014. And then they thought, well, what about the Olympics? But the Olympics is still a year away. So it's basically a toss-up between Eurovision and Crufts. So they've gone for Eurovision. But if people think that the UK is taking the piss with our entrance, do you know who Ireland are sending? Fucking Jedward. But the Irish, they're not stupid because they know if you win Eurovision, you have to host next year's event, and it is not cheap to put on the Eurovision Song Contest. And Ireland, and in case you haven't been keeping up with current events, are broke. This is why they're sending Jedward. But can you imagine if Jedward actually won? The Prime Minister would be like, they fucking what? We are screwed. Right, next year we're sending Eamon Holmes. But I think Jedward are really sweet. I love the way they've made their little name because they've taken their 2 names, Jonathan and Edward. I mean Jedward. But, like, someone's got the short end of the straw there because Edward's got his whole name in there. Little Johnny boy, all he's got is J. But you've got to feel sorry for their English cousins, Paul and Rick. Now, people take the piss out of Jedward for their, lack of talent and the fact that they can't sing and their hair. But look, to be fair to them, I've seen something about Mary. Louis Walsh would have had to wank himself to near cardiac arrest to produce these haircuts. Seriously. I'm Andi Osho, that's been my week on the world.
Still to come, John Richardson and tonight's special guest, Mike Wilmot.
Thank you, and welcome back to Stand Up. The week still to come, our superb special guest, Mike Wilmot. But first, make some noise for the sports correspondent, the wonderful John Richardson.
How are you? This week, this is the week in which a bunch of overprivileged toffs gather by the River Thames to get all hot and bothered, but ultimately just move backwards. It's the boat race, not a cabinet budget meeting. The big news in the boat race is that it's still on fucking telly. Why is it on telly? It's not like it's a competition and Oxford and Cambridge always get to the final. They've just decided to do it and we pay to film it. There's no skill involved. The closest they get to qualifying is a game of soggy biscuit in a hall of residence somewhere. Yeah, I had to eat the biscuit twice. I mean, we only played once, but bloody good game. Because there's no skill, is there? You know, like when you watch football or something, you go, did you step out? Fuck. There's none of that with rowing, is there? Did you see the bit when the Cambridge number 4 just went like that? And, quick as a flash, the Oxford number 6, he saw that. He went like that. That pretty much just went on until I hated myself for being alive. It's obviously a physical challenge, but it's not exciting to watch, is it? It's just 8 people rowing backwards and someone telling them where to go. Why don't you just row forwards and sack that little fucker? It's as if they're rowing backwards because they think if they go fast enough, they'll go back in time. And they go, yeah, if we go really fast, when we get to the finish, women can't vote, which is brilliant. So, One man disappointed not to be at the boat race is Wayne Rooney, who was told, hey, if you get yourself down to the Thames this week, guaranteed 16 oars and you can toss your cocks in the river. He won't be there, of course, because England play Wales this weekend, and maybe you haven't been keeping up with the England team, but let's have a little look at the squad. Most dangerous thing in the world, a prick with a point. This is sort of my guess at the team. Obviously, we can't be sure it changes, but roughly speaking, you'll have all-round arsehole leading the line. Tucked behind the arsehole, never phoned his mum. Phil, andering twat and sleeps with hookers. Very good in Europe in midweek. And with a centre-back pairing of Round Dodger and Slag. I mean, how can you go wrong? Anyway, so regardless of the result, I can tell you, if you're just getting in from the pub, maybe you didn't see the game, England have lost to Wales. Not really to do with what happened on the pitch, but they already lost the minute they decided to once again be captained by this guy. There he is. Piece of shit, John Terry there. You're right to respond to that. A lot of people think instantaneously, say, oh, you can't judge him, he's a footballer, you can't judge him on morals. You go, well, of course you can, because he gets £39 million over 5 years for that. That's what he does. Right? You know, sometimes he does that, fair enough, right? It's not worth 39. If he cured cancer, you give him the money, and then he can fuck who he likes. I think we'll all agree. If he cured cancer, he could phone me up now and go, it's John Terry, I quite fancy baggering you up the arse. Well, you name your service station and I will be there, because I don't know, if I didn't like that old cancer and you've seen it off, that's what he does. I don't think it's much to just say to him, you know all that money we give you for kicking the thing, can you not be a wanker? Can you just not be a wanker? And now he's the talismanic figure of English football. He's the one we look to once again. Capello, when he picked him, he said, hey, he'd be punished enough, eh? That's not how he talks, but that's what he said. He said, hey, has he been punished enough? No, he hasn't. Right? I don't recall seeing a YouTube video of John Terry's balls getting tasered. Right? There's no way. It's 1 year since he was the most hated man in the country, and now he's England captain again. If that is enough punishment, then by the end of this year, Richard Keys and Andy Gray will be presenting Woman's Hour on Radio 4. This is another quote, right? He also said, he felt a bit sorry for him. When we played Denmark, they passed the armband around. 3 players were captain before John Terry. John Terry described that as taking the piss. So they was taking the piss. They weren't taking the piss enough, in my opinion. They should have passed that armband around to everyone except John Terry. Here, John. Give that to Ashley. Ashley Cole... As in Ashley Cole who fucking shot someone. Yeah, Ashley Cole who fucking shot someone. And Capello doesn't understand. He says, I don't understand why people are angry at me. I'll tell you, it's like my old nan used to say, if you're going to go around picking arseholes, don't expect anyone to shake your hand. Let's end on a happy sports story. Why wouldn't we do that? We have a happy sports story courtesy of this man. That is Kelly Neating, whose middle name presumably is Loves Fucky. He became this week the heaviest man ever to complete a marathon. No one's had the balls to tell him that they're actually called Snickers now. He's an American sumo wrestler. He's a champion, but it doesn't really count in America, does it? That's like being sort of a Scottish kabaddi champion. No one really cares. And his wrestling nickname, not a man for irony, Kelly Neating, his wrestling nickname is The Fat Man. And I'm trying to dress it up as a happy sports story, but basically what I'm saying is he did a marathon and he didn't die. Yeah. As much as you want to pretend you're glad for him, part of you would watch him run just because you know there's a chance he might die. In the same way that the only real reason you watch the boat race is in the hope that the boats sink. And you have an image of an Oxford undergraduate sinking with his hands like that, with a turd lodged above his left eyebrow. Well, there we go. That's been the week in sport. Enjoy your sport. Don't be a dick. I will see you next week. Take care. Bye-bye.
John Richardson. Keep that applause going for our sensational headline act. Give it up for Mike Wilmot.
How you doing? How are you? How you doing? You okay? Everyone okay? This is a thrill and a pleasure to be back in London. I am happy to be. I'm thrilled because basically, recently, both my kids have moved. You're a very young girl. You're living with your folks still, I'm guessing? No? Good for you, honey. Get the fuck out of there and enjoy. Let the weight of the world crush you like it's supposed to. Mine are gone, and fuck, it's terrifying now. It's so quiet. The old lady and I just sort of staring at each other. And when I say old lady, women, don't get all pissy. I'm her old man, so please don't form a giant woman and come up here and attack me. I've always had that fear of women. You piss off more than 5, they morph into a big one. Just come at you, grab a regular-sized woman on the way over and just beat you with a regular-sized woman. So, I'm touring Australia next month, so I'm taking her with me. Oh, great. Either you've toured Australia or you're just wooing because you recognize the country's name. She's a bit worried because of the floods that are happening, and she read in the paper in Toronto some of the wilder animals are coming into the city center. Honey, we're on the 18th floor of a hotel. Even if the crocodile was lucky enough to press 18. Still has to slide a card in and out first. Can't do that, he doesn't have a thumb. Read a book. They brag about animals that can kill you out there, which is very Canadian. If you've ever been to my country, we'll give you some bullshit bear story to give you a bit of a scare. Watch out for the fucking bears, they're everywhere. They're not. I've never seen one. Most of us haven't, but oh, fuck, watch them. Oh, they're everywhere. Every corner, there's a fucking bear. He'll just come out of nowhere. Rip your face off and shit down your neck. That's what they do. But the animals that can kill you in Australia can hide in your shoe. That's fucking terrifying. Because in my country, if you ever saw a bear in a shoe, you pretty well know it's a bear, you know? Even if he's wearing 2 and he's trying to fit in. I'm not a bear. I've got the shoes. Hug me, human. I mean, fellow human. Because I'm not a bear. See, I sort of fucked that joke up by talking a bit too long as a bear. And I can see all of you going, well, this is fucking stupid. Bears don't talk. Where the fuck is he going? But you don't know my English friends. You don't have a fucking clue if bears talk. Maybe they talk, maybe they whisper. How fucking terrifying is that? You don't find out they talk till they're really close. All you hear is we can talk. Rip your fucking face off, and next thing you know, you're in heaven going, fuck, bears talk! That's not normally screamed when entering heaven. Fuck, bears talk. And then God puts your face back on. And that's what heaven's all about, my friends. If you died as the result of having your face ripped off, as soon as you get to heaven, God pops your face back on. I wonder if that's what Michael Jackson went through, huh? Just running around heaven, hey, trying to put his face back. I don't want that one. Give me the 5th one. That's a joke. Fuck off. I'm kidding. He went to hell. He touched kids. Come on, grow up. Jesus, come on. That's where you go. That's where you go. You go to hell. Never trust an accused pedophile that can moonwalk. Just when you think he's leaving your house, he's sneaking into your kid's room. You know what I mean? That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. I was a bit nervous about doing this show because, you know, a lot of young kids are in here. I don't want to scare the kids. But I think when you're a teenager, you're probably at your dirtiest time in your fucking life when you're a teenager. When I was a kid growing up in Toronto, we always played the what would you do for $1 million game. And it was always disgusting. Would you eat shit? $1 million, would you eat shit? When I was a kid, it always ended the same. Would you suck a dick? $1 million, would you suck a dick? Now, when I was a kid, I'd say no. But I'm 48 now, and I'd like to retire, John. I really would. I'd suck a dick for $1 million. I'd suck your dick for $1 million if I could find the motherfucker. $1 million. $1 million fucking dollars. I would do a good job for $1 million. I'd wear a t-shirt that said I sucked a dick for $1 million with a photograph of me doing it on the front. One of those magic photos when you go back and forth, you know. Jesus. $1 million, fuck. Per dick, line them up. 15 dicks, I'd play him like a trained seal at a water park. Mary had a little lamb. Put 15 million in my pocket, fly to Fiji, blow $5,000 on mouthwash, and forget I did it. Just show me the money first. I don't want to fall for that again. Thank you all very much. I had a great time.
For Mike Wilmot. Yeah. You've been watching Stand Up for the Week. I've been Kevin Bridges. See you next week. Good night. God bless. Cheers.
Felt a bit sorry for him. When we played Denmark, they passed the armband around. 3 players were captain before John Terry. John Terry described that as taking the piss. So they was taking the piss. They weren't taking the piss enough, in my opinion. They should have passed that armband around to everyone except John Terry. Here, John. Give that to Ashley.